We are recording and we are live. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the first episode of Expert Online Summit. I am Timothy D. Craigette.
L'Amour.
And welcome to the show. So it is Sunday, 5 o'clock Eastern, and my Redskins did not pull it out today. It's okay, though.
Well, everywhere I went today, they said, "Hey, number 9, you're going to help us out here in Dallas." I'm like, "Hey, I'm going to be out there. Just make sure you're screaming." It's funny because here in Dallas, they take this serious, and it's like,
yeah.
"Oh, what's Romo going to do today?" So
you guys are incredibly insane when it comes to football, but so are we. And even though this isn't a sports conversation, but we're both wearing our jerseys, so I found it fitting that we address that.
I have no idea how that happened because it was not planned.
Completely coincidental.
I was like, "What? He's got a jersey on? Come on, man!"
But
cool.
But yeah, this is our first episode, so congratulations to everybody that's here so far. We're expecting some more people to come in, but let's go ahead and get right into it. So the whole basis of this show is to help to build up the community of budding and rookie intermediate entrepreneurs that are trying to get their online businesses going to that next level. And without talking a little bit about us, we've been in the game for a while and we're trying to do our best efforts of giving back. And that's what this first show is. It's our attempt to start to do the things that we wish people took the time to do for us.
Right.
And with that being said, I might as well just talk about something really quick and then we can get into the meat and potatoes of today's show. So for everybody that's on and everyone that's watching the replay, you can go to www.expertonlinesummit.com. Mm-hmm. We have some free goodies for you just to get ourselves better acquainted, to get the ball rolling as far as building our relationship. And I don't want to say anything about what's included. It's a lot of stuff. And we want to make sure that you go to it and get it at www.expertonlinesummit.com. So we ready, Lem?
Yeah, we're ready.
Did I mention everything? I believe I did.
Yeah, you mentioned everything.
All right, let's do this thing. So the topic for today's show is traffic for online business explored. Now, one of the big things when it comes to traffic online is you always need it, but it's not necessarily always the simplest thing to go about getting when it comes to your online business. And what we're going to do in this show, at least what we're going to attempt to do, is demystify traffic so that you learn some new things. We break down some things that may or may not work as well as they used to, and hopefully you get a lot out of it. So, Lem, I'm going to toss it to you first.
All right. Well, when it comes to traffic, there's a lot of things, and I've just learned here recently of a few different avenues that you can use. And where I'm not going to, talk about Facebook traffic right now. I'm just going to talk about, different ways to get traffic in places I've never even thought of. I was on a blab the other day, and these guys were talking about something way above my head, but at the same time, it made sense. And they were talking about traffic that you can get from iTunes. Blew me away.
I'm sorry. Did you say traffic from iTunes?
iTunes blew me away.
Okay, and we're not talking about like just getting it out of like a podcast show.
No.
Okay, go ahead. You got my interest.
So with iTunes, there's a place where you can run ads at and send traffic to wherever you want to, and it's plenty of traffic there that you could use.
Wow. Okay.
And the way that this gentleman was using it, I was blown away. And it brought me to a point where I used to tell people about, YouTube and how, you make videos and how people are online and not to have the big production back screen going on because
right.
That
that's
right
the
there,
type of stuff that I do.
Yeah.
Going
exactly.
way overboard. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. And he was saying once you run your traffic through iTunes, you send them through YouTube, and you just have a normal, like we're doing right now, talking head video, nothing fancy, because he has found that people who are actually coming from that site are just normal people like you and I, you know.
Oh, really?
And
Okay.
if they want to start a business or looking for any type of online venture or offline, whatever, it's best to do like what we're doing right now. Not a big production.
Yeah.
Just simpleness. And he said, I have tested both. And when you put yourself behind a big green screen and you look all fancy, people are thinking to themselves, I can't do that. Really? It looks too professional. Yeah. But if someone just comes on like what we're doing now with their phone, hey, there's limit more, blah, 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 you get more conversions that way because it's more authentic, you know? Okay. It's just a normal person.
So just to kind of make sure that I'm hearing you correctly. So for all the years that we've been taught that we need to go and have this light shining on your face.
Yes.
And proper lighting and exposure and the perfect setting and all that's out the window.
I'm gonna tell you something. It's out the window, and I kind of understood it because when I used to do videos for different clients,
right,
I was getting more conversions from authentic videos rather than these big production videos, and it didn't make sense to me because the other ones look so much better.
Okay.
You know, and I'm thinking, yeah, this is commercial time. This is like quality. But then you get the regular ones out. That's like real people talking. That convert like crazy. So it kind of made sense to me.
Let me explore that real quick. So, in my line of work, we see so many people. They go up and they want to get the Apple look, and they want to do the green screen so they could throw in the CG background and all that. People are actually buying into the whole thing of, hey, if it's just a regular person, I can dig it, and I want to be connected to that person.
Yeah,
and that's converting now.
It's converting now because it goes back to something D here in Dallas said. He calls it scammer gurus. They're all flashy, you know. They go into big rented homes and they're talking about their marketing online, and people are like, you know, they see those jets, you know, and it's hard to fathom that at first when you're starting out. I mean, don't get me wrong, that's possible. There are some people out there that can do that, but at the same time, you know, sometimes those are those clickbait products you see. Those guys, I'm Bubba, I'm Anthony, and you know, and then he's doing all this
much money too.
Yeah. With the $29 product, what's up sells like 20 to go. But I'm just saying, that those are production, you know, we call them California or New York production type videos, but at the same time, you know, real people want to see real stuff, you know, and there's a lot of things out there that can be done in a simpler way than going all crazy and spending your money on.
So let's talk about that. Let's talk about the whole thing of being real and using that for traffic. So what about that actually goes into the whole thing? Because the iTunes thing is the thing that puzzles me on it.
Right.
Why is that the thing that drives people to say, I want to move towards what this, for the sake of a bit of conversation, let's say marketer. I want to see what this marketer is moving me towards. And like, how can someone like one of our audiences actually use that type of a strategy towards their benefit?
Well, it just depends on if they have like a book they're trying to get out there or some type of, I don't know. I'm just going to use a book for an example. And if this was my Let Me Read book of secrets here, if it is, you know, if I send them to YouTube and if it's their niche related, let's say it's about trying to build a new garage, I don't know, for your home.
Okay.
And if I show them my secrets here, could tell them why I'm doing it, and I go through page 50 and show them and explain to them how this is what made me do it. I know you can do it too as well. All you have to do is go Home Depot. I'm going to have a list for you to go get it done. And you might have to have a contractor out there to verify that everything is good to go to get a, what do you call it, inspection sticker or whatever.
Right.
And Bill, when they see this from real people, and then they see the end product, they're going to go, wow, I can't believe he did that. I can totally do that. I want to learn more.
Okay.
Am I live?
All right. So,
and that's how we send them to somewhere else.
Okay. And how do we do this in iTunes though? Man,
I see in iTunes, there's a place where you're able to get these guys hooked. I'm not sure exactly what it is. I need to come back on that probably in part 2 of this.
Okay.
But I know there's a place in there where you can see there's traffic where you can buy in there and you can lead them out to this. I don't know if it's like a MP3 at first of you talking about whatever the niche is or whatever, but it was real interesting to see how he did that. So, to get them there.
Okay. Just to do a little side note, because we have people coming in. First off, I want to say welcome to Mike. Thanks for
Mike Walt in the house.
Yes, so Mike, thanks for joining in. Well, G, thank you for coming on. TC Cooper came in and came out. Hopefully you'll come back. And Titch, love the name. All right, welcome to the show. So continuing where we left off. So the whole thing of getting traffic, of course, is moving people towards offers. And one of the things that I see when it comes to a lot of the small business, small entrepreneurs is that it's not necessarily just traffic is the only problem, but it's also the offer on the other end. So let's actually explore that, because we can actually go back to strategies that people can use, but let's actually break everything down so people can see the full thing in scope. So when we talk about offers, we don't really see the most innovative offers that make people want to convert into sales or becoming clients or anything like that. And they wonder why they spend a lot of money in the whole thing of traffic in order to try to move towards purchasing. So in your opinion, and then I'll throw mine in afterwards, what do you think makes a strong offer?
Well, and this is going to go back to you because we're going to use your example here in a minute, and you're probably going to kick me for it. But what makes a strong offer?
I don't like the way that this is going.
But just bear with me.
Okay, all right.
In my opinion, I think what makes a strong offer is, let's just say today I'm in a mood where I'm just going to use barbecue. I'm in the mood for barbecue, right?
Okay.
And I'm looking for the best recipe or whatever. If I see something that's going to make me want to just jump on that, I'm going to move toward that offer. So it all depends on your mood or where you are in life, your feeling at the time, and that really depends on it. And I'm trying to tell you, and we're going to go back. Yeah.
Okay, hold on real quick. I just want to say to Mike, hamburgers. I agree with hamburgers. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. By the way, I grilled some hamburgers. That's why I said barbecue. Okay, anyway.
All right, go ahead.
But it depends on the mood you have and what you're in when you see an offer. Now, you got to think when you're trying to get an offer out on the internet for whatever you're trying to produce, you have to make sure you're in the right frame mind of your end user. The end user has to make that decision. That's me. I think I want to pursue further. How can I get more on this information? Mm-hmm. You see? Mm-hmm. And when I want to come back to what we were talking about I remember one day you were talking about how you were on Facebook and you saw something and you clicked through the system and it made you completely be at the next campus or whatever it was the next day signing up for that gig. See?
Okay.
And it puts you in a certain.
I'm gonna explain to the audience what you're talking about because I'm not afraid. I'm not ashamed.
All right, go ahead.
Talk about it. All right. So, audience, I ended. I'm a marketer as well, so I just hate how I got. So, I was on Facebook, and I was just palling around. I saw an ad, and the marketing part of me said, "I want to see where this funnel goes." So I clicked on this ad that had pictures of music, and if you'll get to know later on that I'm a big music buff, and that's one of the things that makes me Tim. But I saw something that attracted my eye. I clicked on the image. Next thing you know, hey, do you like hip hop or do you like rock? I like hip hop. Oh, really? Well, we teach this and this on hip hop. Oh, okay. Click. Just give us your email address. Fine. Let's see where this goes. Click. Hey, give us your email address and your address.
Yep.
Okay, whatever. Da 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 da. Click.
They
Oh,
got
can we get your
you,
phone
see?
number too? Here it is. Da 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 da. Click. Next thing you know, I'm done. Ring, ring, ring. 5 minutes after that, a recruiter's calling me on the phone. I gave them all of my information because the offer was it hit a deep rooted want for me,
Yeah.
and it made me feel bad that I fell into the trap. But what it did was validate a lot of the things that we teach people when it comes to this whole online world. And
Right.
now that I've been outed, I can go ahead and continue as to what I see as being valid offers. And this is my advice to all of you when it comes to the things that you offer to your marketplaces. Just like with me, you need to go and provide the marketplace something that they really, really deeply desire. That's the key to it.
Yeah.
And part of the whole thing of your traffic and also your offer at the end of it is trying to ascertain what goes into making that deep desire a reality and trying to have it be something that can be manifested quickly. The whole back to what Len was talking about earlier about the whole thing of the imagery of people that's showing themselves to be, high flying, jet riding, Ric Flair type people. That someone resonates with that, and that's they'll gravitate
Right.
to that, and they'll say, okay, yeah, I want that thing. But
Mike Wall's like, been there, but not alone.
welcome, Lois. Thank you for joining the show. I hope you enjoy. And as an entrepreneur, we need to do the same things. Awesome. I love this. Vlad is awesome. I have to give a lot of shout outs to this. I just love this interaction. Okay. So you have to figure out what your marketplace really, really wants. And the beautiful thing about it is once you figure that out, everything else kind of falls into place. And the beautiful thing about that part is you don't need to be the manufacturer of that thing. You just have to be the person that presents the offer out.
It's almost like when you go to one of those malls and you're shopping and you're hungry and where you head to? The food court.
The food court.
And you have Chinese food, you have your Hispanic Mexican food, you have your Tex-Mex, you have your burger, your Chick-fil-A, and you have all these choices in one place. But you have to get inside of these customers' minds. Who's doing something ridiculous to get you to come over to their booth? Who has the most people at the line? Most people generally go to the line with most of the people there because they're like, hey, man, I'm going over here. Something's happening. Doesn't necessarily mean it's good. You know what I mean? What is that place doing? What?
Mike said that you never leave the food court, though. So
I never leave food court.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Welcome,
but you
John.
got to
John,
figure out.
Welcome.
Well, all these, hey, welcome, John. With all these different choices, what is your story? How am I going to get you to come to my area?
Right.
And like I said, that falls into where you were saying, what mood were you in earlier? What made you come to that decision? We have to get inside of the end user's mind to get them to click on that button to go to the next level.
Exactly. Fernando, welcome to the show. Just as we're getting more people in, I want to make sure that everyone knows that they can go to www.expertonlinesummit.com to get our freebies that we're giving away just to kind of start the whole relationship. This is our very first show, so we wanted to make sure that that we hit the ground running. But continuing where we talked about with the whole thing of the offer, I just want to add a couple things, and this is actually a little strategy that I'm doing. So these are things that I would think you might want to either write down or wait for the recording for this. But some of the greatest information has already been collected. Give you a perfect example. I love going to the bookstore. I go to the bookstore not necessarily to get books, but to see how many books are in a section. Because what that tells me is how important that subject matter is. If a bookseller is not willing to spend a lot of money to hold a whole bunch of business books in the business section because people are trying to find jobs and they have more jobs type books, well, that tells me maybe it'll make more sense for me to make an offer that goes to the people who are trying to find employment rather than the people that want to build a business, which isn't the people here, of course. But the whole thing of trying to find your honeypot for that offer that's going to build up on your traffic, there's many signs everywhere. If you're looking at internet marketing, we always seeing someone promoting the latest and greatest product off of the same type of things that we all know how to do. We're just trying to find someone to make it automated, simple, or faster. One of those three. Mm-hmm. And that already tells us what people want. So for you as the business owner, whatever industry you're currently in, it's a matter of finding that thing that's so special about your industry that resonates on a deeper level than your top level offer. Perfect example. I think there's someone in the group that, Gerard, welcome to the show. I believe that there's someone in the group that's in the home improvement niche. And one of the things that I know as a homeowner that scares the hell out of me is when a pipe bursts. Now, ooh, I've had a pipe burst in my bathroom by my toilet. So it's just a mess. It's just so horrible. But with that being said, that was the finding the solution to that problem was the key for that person to come into my home and fix the problem, because I needed an emergency plumber that could come at 11 o'clock at night that took...
It's going to charge you out the wazoo.
I paid a pretty penny for it. That
you got to get your 2 cards out.
Took credit cards. That had a good rating on Angie's List. You know, all these other parameters that I put in my head outside of the water's running. I need this water turned off. But right. they already had the message in place. So I would then challenge all of you to figure out what is that thing that's human nature, that no matter if you sell your expertise, like if you sell from the stage, no matter if you sell motivation, the thing that might be the thing that gets them in the door is, hey, I need to feel better about myself. And True. If you can find a way to sell that message, then everything else falls into place. We can go deeper into that later on, though.
But I want to just stop you there real quick, because right now you got to think about it, guys. Everyone has some unique thing about themselves that it's not like mine or Tim or your sister, brother, significant other. You have something completely different that you can bring to the table. And, you know, one thing that I know for sure, there's a lot of dead people that are just in the graveyards right now with great ideas that will never be released. And you have your idea, but you probably don't know how to get there or how to set it up. But I can tell you right now, there's a gentleman in the audience right now who's come up with quite a few ideas. I can't say exactly what he's doing, and I will not say what he's doing. But let me tell you, the stuff that he is doing right now, you would not believe what he has created just from his own ideas of what he's been doing. And it's just simple stuff that you could have thought, oh, I could have done that. And I'm thinking to myself, no, you can't, because that's his idea. That was his thing, you know, and he acted on it. But you know I'm talking about Mike Wall. Anyway, not to mention names, but I'm gonna tell you guys, if you have ideas that you know that can help the world or people are needing, it's in you. It's in everybody. You know, it's in everybody.
And now we can actually move this towards how this all turns into traffic. So now, Mike again. Little Bird was the awesome guy. Thank you. You rock, dude. Mike, you rock.
He is a man.
All right. Man. So let's talk some traffic. So some of the things that goes into traffic is also kind of figuring out your target marketplace. One of the key things that I like to do when it comes to figuring out how I'm going to use traffic is dealing with whatever traffic source I'm actually going to apply. I hate to say it, but my favorite traffic source is Facebook right now. And I know that there's other people who use other things, but I love Facebook traffic. I love how cheap it is. I love how accessible it is. I love the demographic information you can pull. And I'm going to talk a little bit about it, and then I'm going to pass it off to Lem for some of the things that he likes to do, because there's some other ones in there, but I want to start with the one that I love the most. So,
right,
Facebook. Now, if you're not using Facebook traffic right now, I'm sorry, but that is by far like absolute best. Okay, he doesn't feel that way. I do. I do.
You can say that, but let me tell you, before you jump into Facebook traffic, there are different ways for Facebook traffic you have to use, and depending on what you're doing. I myself, if I put out a product, I'm a video guy. I'm going to be throwing lots of video snippets. So who would be my best target? Well, you got to think about it. Does Ryan Dice do snippets with his videos in his products? Those are the kind of people I would be targeting. Frank Kern doesn't do snippet videos. Nope. He does long webinars. Yep. You see what I'm saying? So you got to know who is your target area, because they might come, your Frank Kern might come to your snippet videos and they're like, no, I'm not used to this. Right. You know what I mean? So you got to know which ones. All right. I'm done. Go ahead.
I'm going to let you go into video when you get your chance, but I'm going to talk Facebook.
All right. Okay. Go ahead.
So here's what I have for you, audience, as far as Facebook goes. First, let's talk about virality. So the really big thing when it comes to using Facebook traffic is the ability to actually have social come in and affect your whole ad campaign. Unfortunately, I can't go into detail exactly as to what to do. We'll try to figure out how to do that in either another show or in our mentorship. But the whole thing of doing virality is you can get people to spread the message for you and cut down your costs tremendously. Oh. And that's the thing that I love about Facebook traffic. I love spending less of a penny per click, because I'm not really getting less of a penny a click. I'm getting associated organic traffic that's driving down my cost per click. And that, when I learned that a few years back, that was a game changer for me. I was like, forget Google, forget doing videos all the time, which you're going to talk about videos. It's all about messaging. I'm a visual arts person. I love using imagery. So when I'm able to convert somebody from moving from just a pixel on a page to an opt-in, that's enough for me. And it's just mind-blowing how good it is. For everyone that's on this call listening right now, this is what I would encourage people to do. Now, this is a strategy. This one I can actually give right now because it's not hard to implement and everyone can do it. If you have a Facebook page, what I would want you to do is to create an image 1200 by 900 pixels. What that's going to do is it's going to fill up the whole area of the screen. And no matter if it's going to be newsfeed, desktop, mobile, or right side, it will work on all sides. Next thing I want you to do is to do copy that has call to action. So you know that part where you're typing in and like how's your status and how you're good and all that? Instead, use that as an opportunity to throw some simple copy. Basically something like, do you like, are you a, whatever is your target market, you're going to speak to that specific arena. And I'll give you a perfect example. I have a page for my comic book fans, and I'll ask them something like, are you a Deadpool fan? And then I'll give them something that makes them exactly move right to what I want. Well, get this X, Y, Z. And then from there, that's when I start the virality. Because at that point, I can start putting money into that post, which I'm going to actually talk in the next step. So what you're going to do after you create this post where you have this simple copy, you're talking to your audience, and you're making them self-identify. Then you're going to give them a link to click on. That link is going to go to whatever it is that you want it to go to, whether it to be a opt-in page, whether it to be your offer, whether it to be your series of videos, snippets of videos,
hashtag
whatever
snippets.
it is that you want to drive somebody to. And all that's going to do is going to get the whole thing of virality started, because the second command that you're going to put in there is you're going to want them to like and share. And the whole thing of doing that is when they like and share, it goes into their timeline, all their people see it, it gets promoted out there, and it cuts down your cost per click. Now, the second thing we're going to do is we're going to actually put some money behind it. So, like I said, I can't go into everything, but if you can get to that point to start, then you have yourself a start of a campaign. And that's a very simple thing that everybody can do. And everybody that's on right now, that's something that you can try. And okay, I'll throw this out there right now. If there's any of them that are out there that you want to try to test and see how it does, and you want one of us to look at it, we could bring it up on a future show when we're talking about traffic again, and we can actually give you a shout out and actually explore some stuff, because I want to see what you guys do, and that's a part of starting a relationship. Now, Lem, you can go ahead and start talking about some video.
Well, I'm just going to talk a little bit about traffic here and how you can explore. You know, people forget about they forget about Bing for some reason. I don't know why. You know, Bing is not that expensive. Bing is like, and you might say, oh, it's not like Facebook, but it's dang near close.
I'm sorry, I can't take dang near close when I can get a 0.000.
Well, you know, it depends on how you're converting your traffic. Okay. Like you're saying, you put a lot of different. If you know exactly what you're looking for, or you know what people are looking for, and you can hit that smooth spot, then it's going to work out. Now, now things have changed, and I know this, guys. You need to start exploring more with Facebook. Yep. You need to start exploring more with, Google and Google videos for AdWords. You also need to explore. Let's see. There's another one out there. Did I say already? Bing. All these other ones. Yeah. You've got to put it all together and put it in like a complete targeting campaign and know which one's hitting. Because if you can do that in analytics, you'll know which one's working best for you, and you'll know which one that's going to give you that home run. Now, Facebook will give you the cheapest.
Strategy is key.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to make sure I said that, because you're absolutely right. Let's see. I can't even begin to try to. I'm so sorry.
Right.
I'm just going to call you Monty. But thank you for the comment. That was awesome. Go for it.
Strategy is the key to it. And if you understand which one's converting, then you won't lose a lot of money. You know, what happens is people will get on and they'll put a lot of money on something they're not even tracking.
Right.
They don't understand how it works. They got the wrong keywords in there they're looking for.
Right.
And they're paying for clicks that's not converting. Like, it's crazy. So you have to figure out what's working and boom, go from there. Because you can eliminate Bing if it's not converting right, you know? Mm-hmm. And you can eliminate your videos if it's not working right. But if Facebook is the winner, then that's when you start to upscale it.
Yes.
And back to you. You know what I'm saying?
Montana, yes, do the work. But actually, let's go into a little bit more about the whole targeting thing, because that's a big thing that people miss the boat on when it comes to actually getting their online business up with traffic.
And before we do that, why don't you put that link in so they can go get the free goodies in the chat, Tim, if you can?
As soon as I make my point, I'll throw that in the chat for all of you guys. Awesome. Actually, no. Can you talk for a little bit?
Giving you free goodies. We're giving you free goodies, guys. And thank you guys for joining on here. This is our first blab, but it's not our first actual, helping people get traffic online, you know.
All right. So thank you for the time. I'll go ahead and pick up. I I joined it on you.
Yeah, I didn't want to do Blab for a while. I gotta get around to Mike. I was like, Blab, whatever, man. But Tim talked me into it.
I'm sorry. I like new shiny things. I can't help myself. I push buttons and I give all of my information away. So that's what I do.
Hey, it's traffic. You're right. Good traffic.
I love it. This is great. Guys, you're making it so much fun. So keep it up. So let's talk some more about the whole thing of targeting and putting it all together. So a lot of people miss the boat when it comes to actually trying to figure out who they're trying to market to, because it's not just a matter of, post it and they will come, pay for it and they will come, do a blab and they will come. No, it's a matter of also self-identification that has to happen on an external level. Here's an example. There's McDonald's, Burger King, and Wendy's. Some people love the childish behavior. So they identify with being a kid and going to McDonald's and getting that surprise.
Happy Meal, man. A Happy Meal, man. Don't play. I'll roll in there every once in a while just because get one of those toys. That's when they had those collections.
So Lem identifies with being a kid. He just said it. And he identifies with Ronald McDonald and all that stuff. So the McDonald's is his thing. Some people identify with
Minions. See, you're with me. Minions. You know exactly what I was doing.
I can't knock the Minions. I'm sorry, I can't knock the Minions. Okay. So some people identify with a creepy dude that will walk up behind you and all of a sudden present you a Whopper from behind. That's the King. They like Burger King. Some people just like redheads. They go to Wendy's. With all that being said, the whole thing of getting into your demographics head is the big thing when it comes to targeting, because you got to know your person better than they know themselves. There's a marketer I used to work with who used to do the whole t-shirt game. And a lot of people would want to try to target somebody with a funny saying or something that they already saw that was printed and they wanted to do a redesign or something like that. He went the other route. And that brings me a saying that I want to say real quick. So I think it's Dale Carnegie who said this. If you ever want to go into any new industry, look at what everybody's doing and do the exact opposite.
That's right. Exact opposite.
So that's what he did. Instead of him trying to do shirts where he was appealing to the motorcycle crowd and it's pull my throttle or some type of crazy something like that, he would actually create shirts that go towards a second or third generation down. So let's say you were an officer, like my dad is a retired DC cop. Everyone always goes and gives, salutes to officers and stuff for doing their job. Sometimes they don't give salutes. They give them other things. We all know that is. That's neither here nor there. But
right.
But sometimes they thank them for their service. So
I got my best friend's a cop. He's such a butthole, but he's a good guy because he knows me. He's a good guy. Anyway.
So with that being said, they would probably go and actually market towards someone in the family member. So let's say it was to the mother. They would probably create a shirt that says something to the effect of, I'm proud of my son serving the public.
Yes.
Something like that. Now, if you then target that shirt to the police officer, then he's going to be like, Mom, do you like this shirt?
Yes.
And the mother would be like, yeah, I would love to wear that, And what he did is he circumvented every single person that was selling similar stuff to police officers and getting double, if not triple the sales because his targeting was better. He found a way to actually target the niche under the niche under the niche in order to get not only cheaper clicks, but more targeted sales. So the whole lesson in that for everybody that's listening right now is you got to try to really know your demographic a lot better than they know themselves. Wow, that was a tongue twister. All right. And some of the ways that you can do that is just by, thinking about who your demo is. I have.
I'm gonna break that down real quick. Like for example, for my local marketers, if you are into that, maybe you're not, but I'm just gonna give you understanding what I'm doing here. If you're like an emergency niche, like he mentioned, plumbing, you're not targeting men, you're targeting women, the housewives, because they're the ones who's gonna call. Think about that. And sometimes we target the wrong people, and what is a man gonna do? I'm gonna fix that thing my damn self. I ain't calling nobody.
I have no
comment.
Because
I'm the man of the house. You see what I'm saying? If I jack it up, I'm gonna call my friend. I'm gonna say, hey, Mike, you come over here and fix this. She gonna be home in the next couple of hours. But if you're smart, you're targeting the women, the housewives, all these things that's going on, the girlfriend, because they're the ones going to pick up the phone and say, you can't fix it. You can't fix it. I'm calling. They're like, I'm calling right now. You're like, no. They're like, yeah, I'm calling. Don't call them. And then you end up, you surrender because, they know what they're doing.
See, it's making me feel bad because in that whole busted pipe situation, the only thing I could tell my wife to do was go into that room over there and pull that handle. What handle?
Right.
That handle over there. What handle is it? There's a whole bunch of handles. Oh, well, you go with this water. I'll go and I'll try to get it. And just water splashing everywhere. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah, getting somebody who knows what they're doing.
Yes, basically, you got to find the right people. You got to target the ones that's willing to either push that button or is going to pick up the phone. So, that's it, man.
Well, thank you so much for the comment. Practice tongue twisters. I'm learning English. Now, I'll give you a couple more tongue twisters before the day is done. There you go. Before the day is done. That's your second one. Congratulations. So targeting. Monty, thank you very much. So back to the whole thing of targeting.
Martina, maybe. I don't know. Okay.
No.
All right, go ahead.
It was like Montana, but Martina. Oh, he was right. Oh, that sucks. I was wrong. Okay. Martina. Well, hi, Martina. Okay. All right. So the whole thing of targeting, guys, is like I said, you got to know them better than they know themselves. I want to give you guys something to kind of consider to do on your next outing of figuring out your traffic strategies. So Michael Dice, not Michael Dice, geez. Ryan Dice, thank you.
Right.
Oh, see, thank you very much. All right. Ryan Dice is credited for this whole thing of creating an avatar. Brendan Burchard is credited for expanding on the idea of an avatar. You have Tony Robbins, who took everybody else's idea and put a big, gigantic voice behind it and said you need an avatar. And then there was a movie that was called Avatar. That was my joke for the day.
Didn't get it, but okay. It'll come back to me later. I'll probably laugh in my sleep.
In the replay, you'll get it. Okay, right. So the whole thing of the avatar is creating that ideal person in your head. Height, weight, sex, likes, dislikes, all that other type of stuff. But I challenge you to actually take it a step further. And this is what my contribution is when it comes to actually creating that avatar. What I would want you to do is to actually think of that avatar as a person that has interest. This is why I say interest. Because if you're able to go on a psychographic level, this is what a lot of people don't talk about. If you're able to go on a psychographic level, and
I'm gonna have to break this down for some of y'all because he's getting way up there.
If you can actually think how they think, your targeting it just gets that much easier. If you know that they love to go see action-based movies and they love stadium seating where you can recline all the way back, that means that they're willing to spend a lot more money than the person who's going to go and try to get the matinee. But if you can then get even deeper than that in your targeting, in your interest, you'd be amazed at what you can figure out. You could figure out a person's income level, figure out their household, their it's just so many things that you can, their education, their shoe size. I'm serious. Right. There's people who are shoe collectors and you'll know so much about them with their shoes. or hat collectors like me.
What they read, what they're interested in reading, and materials. You know, I mean, you can find out a lot about a person from just that alone.
And all that type of stuff, it actually does better for your interests, better for your targeting, because if you can figure out brands that are associated to certain things that they like, if you could figure out certain things that they buy as far as food, the type of cars that they drive, the difference between the person that goes to Don Shula's and goes to Ruth Chris,
right?
That just those types of things makes your targeting that much easier. And then when you can actually interweave all of that into your messaging, that's when you have powerful traffic sources, because it doesn't matter if you're using Facebook or YouTube, Google, AdWords, any of that type of stuff. If you can figure out who that person is psychologically, then you can target whatever you want. And the last time I'm going to leave with the whole thing about targeting and actually improving on your targeting is this simple thing. When it comes to figuring out who you're trying to attract, start with the money. The government starts with the money. You should too. Because if you can figure out how much you want them to spend, everything else kind of falls into place. Because if, let's say, your services range between $100 to $500,
or product,
well, you might need somebody, or a product or anything like that. You may need to find somebody that has a yearly income of somewhere between 40 to 50K. So that $500 is very easy to spend, and there's no problem in spending it. While if you're like Kern, then you're looking for people who are going to easily give you 10 to 20 to 30 to 40, sometimes 60K. I've seen his ticket prices. They're insane.
Right. Insane.
But it's either two types of people that are coming, either the people that have an income of about 50 to 60K that are trying to improve beyond that threshold.
Right.
Or there's the people that have 100K plus that they can easily afford that ticket and, is probably bankrolled in their business regardless. Whatever the case being, just start with the money, because once you can figure out what your end goal price point is and the type of money it needs to be to where it doesn't hurt somebody to spend it, then you can start to build that person that you're trying to create. And that avatar then just kind of just materializes. Go ahead,
and keep in mind, guys, if you're doing it targeted correctly, it doesn't matter what level they are income-wise, because if you do it like he's saying, if your product is based off of 10K, if your product is based off of $100 or maybe $30,
right,
if you find the right targeting method, then they are going to be able to spend it. So there's not a amount of dollar that you just can't say, oh, they'll never pay for that. No, that's a bunch of bull.
Exactly.
You've got to find them there, because, the internet is so huge. Everyone is buying all kinds of ridiculous and crazy nonsense stuff every single 5 seconds. And if you're one of those lucky people that target them, then you're happy. So you just got to find what it is you're trying to, get out there for them. Let's switch gears, because I think we've been on this for a little bit. I think we understand.
Yes.
Are you in agreement with that?
Yeah. Okay. We beat that horse. Before you do that,
right,
for everybody that's come on, Jim, welcome to the show. RJ, welcome to the show. Just to make sure everybody knows, you can go to www.expertonline. See, I'm starting to get tired. Yeah,
www, folks.
expertonlinesummit.com. Right. We get a whole bunch of free goodies to give away there. Start building up this thing. We're really trying to make sure we help as many people as we can. Go ahead, Lem.
Okay, so let's figure it out. You got an idea right now. You have something that you want to do, or you've been trying to do affiliate stuff. Tim, let's explain to them, how do they get started with their own thing? Because like I said before, we talked about ideas, that people have and they die with, and there's just the graveyard is so wealthy, like I said. So,
right,
if you have an idea, how do you get started? What is the first thing you do? Because we've already talked about targeting and all that, but how do you get started? I don't know if we're going to last this for another 20 minutes or 10 minutes, but how do we get started with an idea, Tim, to get it
Okay.
offered to a product to get something going or an idea going.
Right. So the whole thing of idea creation, this is something that kind of mystifies a lot of people, and in some ways it's really complicated. In some ways it's quite simple. The best way that I can actually answer that is with a story. So I'm just going to give you guys a quick story, something that is it's enough to kind of give you an idea as to what you can and can't do. So as you'll get to know, my whole history came from the federal government. I used to do information technology, IT, for the government. Basically, I worked with a whole bunch of very smart people and have them doing very simple things. I don't want to say what agency it is, just in case there's some federal people on.
We got you.
You know, but anyone who's ever worked for the government or contracted or seen anything on TV, it is what it is.
Awesome. Look
Awesome.
at that. Martina.
I love my IT people.
There's a lot of IT people in the world.
So,
I'm sorry. Wait. I asked this man the other day how many computers he owned, guys. I was thinking he had like maybe, I'm running off of 1-2 computers in the house. This man started naming off every room had a computer doing every individual task. And I'm like, what?
Yes. Okay. So I'll just say this really quickly and then I'll continue on. So yes, I do simultaneously run about 8 to 9 different machines at one point. That's not including the monitors. That's only machines by themselves. I'm not going to get into what all of them do. So yes, I am a geek and I love it. I'm a certified nerd.
He is a straight up certified nerd.
All right. So,
all
right. So I came from the government and my whole thing in IT was to be an IT trainer. So I distilled big bits of information into little bite-sized chunks to where these really high, really super smart, intelligent scientists would be able to do very simple things, at least things that you and I would consider as being simple. When I was making my move to leave the government and to get into being my own business person, entrepreneurship, that was my skill. Like I didn't know much more than what I learned from books or whatever I did to build up my own education. I ended up learning, internet marketing the hard way, which was by trial and error. And when it came time to actually coming to the marketplace to build something to sell, I ended up having to kind of really say, okay, well, what can I sell? Because I've done some book stuff, I've done some music stuff, I've done this and that, but what do people want? And I had to really itemize my skill set. And the first thing that came to mind was I know how to get complex information and distill it down to very simple terms.
Right.
Why don't I build something and sell that? And that actually became my first information product. And that went on to do, bestseller status. Here's the thing that I want all of you to get from this story is a lot of you already have great ideas in your head. Ooh. It's just a matter of pulling them out. I'm gonna pick on Monty since Monty's being so interactive with us. The whole thing of yes, you are. The whole thing of being in IT, she probably knows how to work on computers extremely well. While there's somebody that probably just doesn't know how to do a lot with computers. A good example is my grandmother. She's smart as a whip, but when it comes to doing things with computers, I have to kind of, well, here's what you do. This is where you go. This is how you do this and that. Monty could probably take her knowledge, distill it down to, some ebooks, some how-tos, whatever the case may be, and just build out this whole product line of how-tos for the elderly, how-tos for chiropractors, how-tos for plumbers, doing computers. That's the first thing that everyone can do that's listening on this call is inventorying your own skill set. And this I did it, and I had 15K students learning my code. Boom. I love this platform. All right. With that being said, everybody has the opportunity to just figure out what's in their head and pull all their information together and just kind of just say, okay, well, first, what do I know well? And then if you're like some other people that was like, well, I don't really know that much well, the second step is, what can I learn that I can teach someone else? And that's how a couple of my students got started. Well, it was just that they knew something, but the marketplace wasn't willing to pay the money for it. So they went and learned new skills and then found ways to distill that information. It wasn't parroting and it wasn't plagiarism. They learned how to do these things. I made sure it's a requirement they learn how to do it. So they're speaking to their own voice. Because, okay, I'm sorry, but Tony Robbins is a parrot. In some things, he's incredibly innovative.
He's a parrot.
But in some ways, he just gets other people's information. Yeah. And just he's the voice that gets the information out. It doesn't even matter if you really learned it or not. He's brilliant in that way that can decipher a lot of information. But yeah, I feel he's a parrot. With that being said,
just getting the information out to the right people that are listening.
He's a better marketer than the people he got the information from.
There you go. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With that being said, all of you guys can actually do the same thing. By figuring out what a marketplace needs, but he has to respect, and you're absolutely right. I can't disagree with you.
Yeah, on that.
Truth. The whole thing of pulling together the information that you can find, if you don't have it already in your head, some of the greatest sources that you can get any information from. Now, a lot of you on here are extremely high tech. I can tell because you're on Blab.
Exactly.
Guess what? There's this old archaic system called the library. They have these things called books. It's insane. No, I'm just joking with you guys. But seriously, books are the best sources for anything because it's already been documented, curated, organized, and disseminated. That's a great place to start. Other people's courses. I love buying courses. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I spend money on courses, but it's not just because I just like to learn. It's because I'm also thinking, okay, well, this is information my audience needs, and it's my responsibility to get the information out to them. So you as an entrepreneur online, that also can be an avenue for you. I imagine that you have hard drives full of courses. Use that stuff and make some money from it. I'll give you one more to go. Other people. A lot of people love to do interviews. We love doing interviews for our shows. And we get to learn a lot of things. I mean, Lem's Saturday Cup of Joe.
No
you
promotion.
Guys should definitely check it out. You love it? You love it? All right. Saturday Cup of Joe. He does interviews on Saturdays, and it is some of the best stuff you see online because it's just a matter of bringing the connections in and everybody being able to.
That's right, Mike. Well, you're supposed to be coming back like next year. You better. I know what's going on with you, but talk to you, boy. Yeah.
And that's a great way for building up a whole bunch of information in one great place because, again, it's about the end product of what you're trying to bring to market. So those are my few things when it comes to kind of building out an idea. There's a lot more, but I just want to make sure that I don't steal all the time because we're almost at time.
Yeah, we're almost at that time. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to toss it back to Lem. And just before I do that, everybody make sure that you go to www.expertonlinesummit.com, get your freebies. And yeah, go ahead, Lem.
Yeah, guys, we thank y'all for joining us. This is all about what we're trying to do. We're giving back. There's a lot of great things that we can talk about. There's a lot of subjects. Next time we'll probably bring on a guest so we can. You might have something that you want to ask or you're struggling with, and we can get you through, and we can kind of get a topic right now. If you have something that you might want to talk about next week, go ahead, put that in the chat right now, and we'll take that in consideration and go from there, because there's a lot of stuff that can be done when it comes to online, adventures. And there's things you probably never heard of. There's things that we'll probably say, oh, I knew that. And there's things you're going to go, oh, I forgot to do that,
Yep.
And that's why we're here, because, there's a lot of things that we can bring to the table, and you as well, not just us, you as well as the listeners there. Where do you sell your products? That's a great question that we can, that's a great subject we can add on next time we do this,
Yes.
But yeah, it's been an hour. It's been a lot of content and a lot of reaction from you guys. You guys rock, wow, I'm just amazed. And Sunday, we didn't know how many we're gonna have on today, but it seems like quite a few jumped on and stayed with us, and so that's awesome. Yep. See, there's another one. Look at these. Are you getting these questions now?
I'm seeing it, and what I'm gonna do for everybody that's on, I'm gonna actually screenshot this so me and Lem can actually compile all this and make sure for our next show or shows down the line that we address all this. And you can catch me at Expert Online Summit, and you can catch Lem at Saturday Cup of Joe. The next show. So here's the thing. And I'm going to be extremely honest with you guys, because that's what we want to do. We have this time slot for Sundays at 5 p.m. Eastern. And we're going to try to experiment that for a while, just to make sure that it works for not just you guys, but for everybody that comes on. And as we build this thing out, we'll ask you guys, is this a time that you like the show? Do we need to move it? Or, do we need to expand it or shorten it? We want to make sure we give you guys the best that we can give, because if we don't,
and of course, if you follow us, you'll know when we're Yes. If you follow us, you'll get the notification.
Yes, because if we're not doing it and having fun, we won't do it.
Yeah, exactly.
And this was fun.
I'm not trying to get on here and be like, this is boring.
Replays.
Awesome.
We will let you guys know when replays are up. We're going to try our best to make sure replays are up in a timely manner. And I think we can go ahead and close out the show.
Cool. All right, everybody. We'll see you soon. Thanks for joining us today. Sorry for those coming in that's asking questions right now, but we've been here for an hour. Go back and watch the replay, because you'll see why we've been here for an hour.
Yep. So signing off
for the next show.
For Expert Online Summit, I am Tim.
I am Lem.
And you've been watching Expert Online Summit. Check you later, guys.
Hey, guys. See you later.